An opera company smack dab in the middle of the imperial capital, huh? I can't even begin to imagine what that must be like. I mean, I've been all over the place for my mercenary work, but it's mostly just been for small-time rural lords and the like. Honestly, I'd never even met anyone from the big cities like Enbar or Ferdiad before coming to Garreg Mach. Even after I ended up in the capital, all the glitz and glamour made me feel almost like I was living someone else's life instead of my own.
You know, shows in the capital are about 1,000 times flashier than the little town festival shows you might be used to. Every important moment of the drama is conveyed through elaborate song, and at the center of the musical ensemble stands its star, the diva.
I think I get the idea. These divas sound pretty incredible. They probably get stage names and everything if they're that important, huh?
Oh, but of course, I was known as the mystical songstress.
Hey, that's pretty good. There always has been this kind of indescribable aura surrounding you.
Thanks, but I have mixed feelings about the name myself. They called me that because of how suddenly a street orphan like me was discovered and debuted.
Yeah, I see how there could be some complicated feelings wrapped up in that. But if you were able to rise from that to diva, you must have the chops to back it up. Not that I can even picture what that would sound like. Hey, do you think you could sing something for me?
Since you asked so nicely, but I'm only doing it this once, okay? How the crimson rain of pain it came, falling hard upon a land aflame, when the sacred blade it split the sky until the heavens heard our cry. In the hour of vengeance will you heed the call? On the red fields of revenge will you help avenge? We must fight strong and stand tall. Well, what did you think?
It was, yeah.
What, you didn't like it? Not quite the booming applause I'm used to.
No, it was incredible, honest. It's just, I'm not really sure I got it, you know? I mean, the only songs I know are the ones sung by mercs in taverns or village girls as they tend the fields. You're kinda in a different league, Dorothea. Sorry, I can't really give you much more than that.
Oh, don't worry about it. This sort of thing happens more often than you'd think.
Well, as long as you're not mad. If you don't mind, though, maybe you could try again for me sometime? I'd really like to hear you sing some more. And hey, I might even get better at telling you what I thought.
Sure. I suppose I can give you one more chance.
That reminds me, I actually found myself at a noble's tea party not too long ago.
Oh, you must be talking about Ferdy, right? He does love his tea.
No. It happened while I was doing some work as a bodyguard. The nobles who threw the party even gave me a cup of tea to show their appreciation. I didn't really know what to make of it, though. Hard to say if it was even good or bad.
Understandable. Settings like that tend to choke the flavor out of any food or drink you happen to come across, among other things.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm built for all that fancy stuff. Hey, remember when I asked you to sing for me? You belted out a verse from one of your operas? It kinda reminded me of that tea. It's like, I just don't have the background for that sort of stuff. If you don't grow up in it, you're not gonna get it.
Everyone has a right to those things, though. Taking in a tragic opera, letting an elegant meal dance across your taste buds. Nobody should be excluded from those pleasures just because they were born a commoner.
It'd be good if that's how things worked.
You think it's not?
Take my time back as a mercenary. I would have gladly eaten a half-cooked rat if it meant I was getting food in my belly. It's only since I joined up with this army that my palate's become a little more discerning. But what I'm saying is, if you never have the chance to eat good food, then you'll never know what good food is supposed to taste like. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but...
In that case...
Dorothea?
Oh, sorry. I got a bit caught up in my thoughts there. But I think it might be just as you say. Will you indulge me for a moment?
Sure. What's on your mind?
When I first started singing, I did it for me. Only me. But it wasn't long until Manuela discovered my gift. So, I joined the opera company. It felt... incredible. I wanted the whole world to hear my singing. But once I became a songstress, I started attracting more and more attention from the nobles. Before I knew it, I wasn't singing for myself anymore. I was singing for them. Now you can't even appreciate my songs if you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
I don't think that's true at all. Everyone can learn to love it if they want. The only reason I didn't understand was because I didn't have much interest in opera before now. So, don't belittle yourself like that. Your singing is incredible, Dorothea.
I appreciate that. I really do. But I still can't help but wonder. La 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 la. La 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 la. How was that?
Yeah, good.
Still the same reaction, huh?
Sorry, me and singing just don't mix very well. Though it did make me feel warm inside, kinda like I was a kid again, with my mom.
Hey, you do get it! That was a lullaby from a long, long time ago. Nowadays, nobody remembers the lyrics, though. Or sings it to their children, for that matter.
A lullaby, huh? I guess that's why it took me back the way it did. But wait, if nobody knows the words, how are you so sure that's even what it is? Just from how it sounds?
Well, there was this scholar who researched it a few years ago and said as much. Couldn't tell you if they were right, though.
Huh. Honestly, I kinda liked that it didn't have any words. That way it can hit you straight in the heart without all that lyrics and meaning stuff getting in the way.
I'm glad to hear you giving music a little more thought now.
And I'm glad I've had so many chances to listen to you sing. Your voice touches people, Dorothea, even if they don't have the knowledge to really appreciate the high-level art of it. I mean, look at me. Bottom of the barrel, and you still practically move me to tears.
Oh, come now, don't talk about yourself like that.
It doesn't really bother me. And I'm not wrong, am I? No birth parents, no real background to speak of. The whole wandering merc gig, it is what it is.
That's quite the positive attitude. I'll have to try a little bit of that myself sometime. In the meantime, I've once again been able to rethink my singing thanks to you. I lost much of my emotion about the craft during my time as a diva, but I can feel it coming back now.
You really are incredible. You know that?
How do you mean?
I don't know. There's just something beautiful about the way you speak. It's like your thoughts come out of your mouth fully formed, almost perfect, then find their way straight into people's hearts. Probably has something to do with all the training you did to become a diva, and all the training you've continued doing since. Meanwhile, here I am struggling to even make proper sentences when I try to talk about your singing.
Thank you for the kind words. It makes me feel a lot better hearing you say those things about me. But for the record, I don't think you're bad with words at all. Even your little speech now was the definition of smooth. If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were trying to flirt with me.
An opera company smack dab in the middle of the imperial capital, huh? I can't even begin to imagine what that must be like. I mean, I've been all over the place for my mercenary work, but it's mostly just been for small-time rural lords and the like. Honestly, I'd never even met anyone from the big cities like Enbar or Ferdiad before coming to Garreg Mach. Even after I ended up in the capital, all the glitz and glamour made me feel almost like I was living someone else's life instead of my own.
You know, shows in the capital are about 1,000 times flashier than the little town festival shows you might be used to. Every important moment of the drama is conveyed through elaborate song, and at the center of the musical ensemble stands its star, the diva.
Kinda like how all the most famous mercenary groups have one big name leading the charge. People like the Blade Breaker or the Ashen Demon. You must have had a stage name or something too, huh?
Oh, but of course. I was known as the Mystical Songstress.
Hey, that's pretty good. There always has been this kind of indescribable aura surrounding you.
Thanks, but I have mixed feelings about the name myself. They called me that because of how suddenly a street orphan like me was discovered and debuted.
Yeah, I see how there could be some complicated feelings wrapped up in that. But if you were able to rise from that to diva, you must have the chops to back it up. Not that I can even picture what that would sound like. Hey, do you think you could sing something for me?
Since you asked so nicely, but I'm only doing it this once, okay? How the crimson rain of pain it came, falling hard upon a land aflame, when the sacred blade it split the sky until the heavens heard our cry. In the hour of vengeance will you heed the call? On the red fields of revenge will you help avenge? We must fight strong and stand tall. Well, what did you think?
It was... yeah.
What, you didn't like it? Not quite the booming applause I'm used to.
No, it was incredible, honest. I was just kinda at a loss for words for a second there. That was like nothing else I've ever heard before. Sorry I can't really give you much more than that.
Oh, don't worry about it. This sort of thing happens more often than you'd think.
Well, as long as you're not mad. If you don't mind, though, maybe you could try again for me sometime? I'd really like to hear you sing some more. And hey, I might even get better at telling you what I thought.
Sure. I suppose I can give you one more chance.
That reminds me, I actually found myself at a noble's tea party not too long ago.
Oh, you must be talking about Ferdy, right? He does love his tea.
No. It happened while I was doing some work as a bodyguard. The nobles who threw the party even gave me a cup of tea to show their appreciation. I didn't really know what to make of it, though. Hard to say if it was even good or bad.
Understandable. Settings like that tend to choke the flavor out of any food or drink you happen to come across, among other things.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm built for all that fancy stuff. Hey, remember when I asked you to sing for me? You belted out a verse from one of your operas. It kinda reminded me of that tea. It's like, I just don't have the background for that sort of stuff. If you don't grow up in it, you're not gonna get it.
Everyone has a right to those things, though. Taking in a tragic opera, letting an elegant meal dance across your taste buds. Nobody should be excluded from those pleasures just because they were born a commoner.
I'm not so sure that's how it works, though. Take my time back as a mercenary. I would have gladly eaten a half-cooked rat if it meant I was getting food in my belly. It's only since I joined up with this army that my palate's become a little more discerning. What I'm saying is, if you never have the chance to eat good food, then you'll never know what good food is supposed to taste like. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but...
In that case...
Dorothea?
Oh, sorry. I got a bit caught up in my thoughts there. But I think it might be just as you say. Will you indulge me for a moment?
Sure, what's on your mind?
When I first started singing, I did it for me. Only me. But it wasn't long until Manuela discovered my gift. So, I joined the opera company. It felt... incredible. I wanted the whole world to hear my singing. But once I became a songstress, I started attracting more and more attention from the nobles. Before I knew it, I wasn't singing for myself anymore. I was singing for them. Now you can't even appreciate my songs if you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
That might be true, but like I said, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. So many people would kill to be able to do what you can do. So don't belittle yourself like that. Your singing is incredible, Dorothea.
I appreciate that. I really do. But I still can't help but wonder. La 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 la. La 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 la. How was that?
Yeah, good.
Still the same reaction, huh?
Sorry, me and singing just don't mix very well. Though, it did make me feel warm inside. Kinda like I was a kid again, with my mom.
Hey, you do get it! That was a lullaby from a long, long time ago. Nowadays, nobody remembers the lyrics, though. Or sings it to their children, for that matter.
A lullaby, huh? I guess that's why it took me back the way it did. But wait, if nobody knows the words, how are you so sure that's even what it is? Just from how it sounds?
Well, there was this scholar who researched it a few years ago and said as much. Couldn't tell you if they were right, though.
Huh. It's a simple song and honestly pretty repetitive, but I don't really mind. I mean, a complicated song that's always changing is basically impossible to remember, so I take this over that any day of the week.
I'm glad to hear you giving music a little more thought now.
And I'm glad I've had so many chances to listen to you sing. Your voice touches people, Dorothea, even if they don't have the knowledge to really appreciate the high-level art of it. I mean, look at me. Bottom of the barrel, and you still practically move me to tears.
Oh, come now, don't talk about yourself like that.
It doesn't really bother me. And I'm not wrong, am I? No birth parents, no real background to speak of. The whole wandering merc gig. It is what it is.
That's quite the positive attitude. I'll have to try a little bit of that myself sometime. In the meantime, I've once again been able to rethink my singing thanks to you. I lost much of my emotion about the craft during my time as a diva, but I can feel it coming back now.
You really are incredible, you know that?
How do you mean?
I don't know, there's just something beautiful about the way you speak. It's like your thoughts just come out of your mouth fully formed, almost perfect, then find their way straight into people's hearts. Probably has something to do with all the training you did to become a diva, and all the training you've continued doing since. Meanwhile, here I am struggling to even make proper sentences when I try to talk about your singing.
Thank you for the kind words. It makes me feel a lot better hearing you say those things about me. But for the record, I don't think you're bad with words at all. Even your little speech now was the definition of smooth. If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were trying to flirt with me. Interesting theory. I'll have to make a mental note of that.
Isn't it a bit late to be studying, Dorothea?
Hi there, Edie. Looks like I'm not the only one burning the midnight oil. You should get to bed. All-nighters are the bane of clear skin, you know.
I assume that also applies to you.
What can I say? You all work so hard, I figured I should dedicate myself to my studies. Especially when it comes to strategy and tactics. Those are real blind spots for me.
You would have had a chance to learn them if we'd remained at the Officers' Academy. I suppose you missed out on all sorts of experiences now that I think about it.
Edie, please.
No, wait. My decision and my actions are partly to blame for robbing you of those opportunities. I feel I owe you an apology for that.
You did what you thought was right. And anyway, it's not like any of us saw all these problems with the Kingdom and Alliance coming.
Yes, but...
Look, I admit I may have been a little sad when the Academy went on hiatus. I mean, I worked my tail off to get into that place. It was hard. Really hard. Oh, and when the school shut down, there went my best chance of finding Mr. Right. Or Miss.
I knew it was upsetting you. Dorothea, I am truly, deeply sorry.
Hold on, Edie. Let me finish. I was about to say that if we did stay at the Academy, you would have been terribly unhappy. You'd have had all this gloom and uncertainty hanging over you about your father and the future of the Empire. I think it might have broken you.
A slight exaggeration, wouldn't you say?
For what it's worth, I'm glad you're free of that torment, and can now work towards building the world you envision. I like this new life working under you. It suits me.
Please don't say that. The part about you working under me, I mean. I like to think we work side by side and hand in hand. You are always a tremendous help to me. I consider you a dear friend, and I say that not just as the Emperor, but as a peer.
Thanks, Sadie. Do you mind if I take that and run with it? Dorothea, dearest friend of the Emperor, has a really nice ring to it. I was fine with Dorothea the mystical songstress, but this new title has a real warmth and dignity thing going on.
In that case, allow me to meet you halfway. Henceforth, I shall be known as Emperor Edelgard, dearest friend of the songstress.
Oh, no, that'll never do. Because if you do that, it would make me dearest friend of the songstress.
Well, we certainly can't have that. How about you just promise not to be a stranger, Whatever the rest of the world demands, I want the two of us to always be there for each other.
I would like that very much indeed. I wonder when I'll be able to return to Enbar.
Greetings, Dorothea. I hope I'm not intruding.
Oh, you're fine. I was just having myself a little think. So, what do you need?
I come with a matter involving the opera company of which you were once a member.
What's wrong? What happened?
Nothing drastic, I assure you. A letter addressed to you arrived, and finding myself with a moment to spare, I decided to deliver it personally. And as I was also hoping to speak with you about the company, the trip serves a dual purpose.
Okay, don't scare me like that, Hubert. I figured something awful had happened since you were coming here in person.
My apologies. Let your heart be at ease. Now then, I wish to discuss the matter of your return to the opera company.
I'm pretty sure I said I wasn't going back.
That is not what I refer to. Well, it is and it isn't. You have no love of violence, and in fact care little enough for it that the mere sight of someone in pain nearly rends your poor heart in two. Further, I am aware that you received numerous invitations to return to the company. Despite that, you continue to remain here on the front lines of the war. I find this choice curious.
Okay, that's a fair point. I honestly have given some thought about returning to the company. Touring across the land with them and using music to heal weary hearts sounds wonderful. And if I did make that choice, it would be a different way to help Edelgard and everyone else. You agree, right?
Indeed. I should think it terribly useful work.
But even so, I can't abandon the actual fight when all of you are still here. The thought of being safe and sound while my friends risk their lives isn't something I'm comfortable with. Does that make sense?
It does. And I even share your feelings to a degree. However, we could always summon your opera company to the front so that you could use your diva talents to motivate our troops. Surely you have considered this possibility?
You really see through everything, Hubie. It's vexing. But fine, there's another reason. I want to support Adi as a commoner. If I were here in the position of an opera diva, I wouldn't be treated like one anymore. I want to be here fighting as a representative of the peasant class. However selfish it might be, I feel this is the best way to help Adi as she tries to erase the gap between nobles and commoners.
Well, this is a surprise. You choose the path of hardship for the sake of your Emperor. Truly, I have undersold your resolve.
Oh, but there is one more reason.
Still more.
There are quite a few young nobles here. Dependable ones with quality futures ahead of them. And they're a lot more attractive than the doormats who flutter about us divas in the capital.
Yes, that does seem important. You are stronger than I gave you credit for, Dorothea. And you have earned my respect this day.
Is something wrong, Ferdinand? You're staring quite intently at those plants while you water them.
I was merely reflecting on something I saw long ago in Enbar.
Oh? What would that be?
In truth, it is nothing noteworthy. Back when I was a child, I saw a water nymph dancing and singing in a fountain along the main street. She was radiant, brilliant in the dewy light of the sun. But as an immature young lad, I grew embarrassed and ran away.
Wait a minute. That sounds familiar.
And you're sure of what you saw? A water nymph?
Absolutely. Her song resonated within me. It was a bucolic tune sung by common folk around the capital. As I recall, she had not been wearing so much as a scrap of clothing. Anyway, once I finally mustered up the courage to return, the nymph had vanished.
Such a tale hardly seems possible.
What? That's the reason Ferdy ran away that day? No way. I've been wrong about him this whole time? I mean, considering how I must have looked in that fountain... Oh no. I can't even begin to face him right now. I have to go back.
Is that Dorothea? I wonder what she's doing over there.
He's seen me. All right, Dorothea, just be calm. It's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine. Why, if it isn't Ferdy and 80, what a coincidence to bump into the two of you here.
Dorothea, your face is red.
Yes, indeed it is. Do you have a fever?
Really? I feel fine, but... Well, I was just coming to check on things, but since it all checks out, I'll be going. Bye!
Wait, you could suddenly take a turn for the worse. So, I will escort you back.
No, I'm fine. I'm not going far.
Yet still too far to travel alone. If something were to happen to you, it would already be too late. Come now, take my arm. Or if it please you, I could carry you there.
Enough! I am perfectly fine, so just mind your own business and stay away from me.
No one appreciates obstinance, Ferdinand.
Apologies. Although, given the intensity of her rebuff, I worry she may not have liked me to begin with. Have I committed some grave wrong against her? What should I do?
What am I supposed to say to Ferdy? Oh, this is such a problem. All my animosity towards him has been due to a misunderstanding on my part. I really owe him a...
Dorothea!
Ferdy? What in the world?
I shall not approach any closer. So pray, stand there and hear me out. My deepest apologies for what happened the other day. I fear I may have wounded you most grievously. As I am a fool who knows not how I upset you, you may freely laugh and jeer at my inadequacies.
There's some kind of lover's quarrel, maybe?
You think he's cheating on her? Nah, couldn't be. But then again... Oh, for the love of... Ferdy! Please stop screaming our private business for all the world to hear!
But you told me to stay away from you, and I must not disregard your wishes in the matter. I implore you to forgive me. I have no wish for our relationship to end in such a horrid manner.
This is getting good. Can't say the lady looks too into it, though.
True, but if two folks really and truly love each other, they can overcome anything.
I forgive you, Ferdy! Now for the love of everything, stop shouting!
Thank you for forgiving me, Dorothea. And thank you for hearing out my thoughts on the matter.
Oh, I think everyone heard you out.
I see. Then you are still cross with me.
Listen, Ferdy, you don't need to apologize.
Does this mean you will never forgive me for as long as I live? Whatever am I to do?
Just listen to me for a second. You don't have to apologize to me because I'm the one who should be apologizing to you.
Oh? But why? I should not think you have any defects to speak of.
I overheard you and Adie talking the other day. When you were telling her about the water nymph you saw in the fountain in Enbar? Well, I'm fairly sure what you thought was a nymph was actually me, as a child.
Come again?
That was the day I met Manuela and was invited to be a singer, and I was over the moon about it. I slipped into the fountain to wash up, hoping to scrub some of the dirt off of me. And then you appeared.
I see. But if the beautiful water nymph was actually you, then that means...
Yes, right. Anyway, I got embarrassed thinking about it, which is why I told you to stay away. That's all.
Yes. Well, I am glad we were able to clear that up.
There you are, Lynn.
Oh, Dorothea. How unusual. I didn't expect to see you in a place like this.
It's not unusual when I've been looking for you literally everywhere. You skipped out on the War Council meeting this morning, and Adie was livid.
Yes, something came up that required pulling an all-nighter 2 nights in a row, so I had some sleep debts to repay.
Next time, maybe spare a thought for the person who'll get stuck having to track you down. We discussed important matters in the meeting, you know. There was some kind of accident, and now we're experiencing a delay on supplies.
And now we need to ration our food? It's a pain, but these things happen. In the worst case, we're supposed to be considering ways to forage for food ourselves, right? I suppose I can handle it if we need to fish, but I'll have to pass on tromping through the fields and mountains to harvest wild whatevers.
Wait, how do you know all this? You weren't even at the meeting, were you?
Because I had someone who attended take notes for me.
Wait, you had someone...
More importantly, you should go to Her Majesty and propose a review of our supply logistics. Considering our current position on the front lines, we should break up the transportation of provisions along multiple routes. It may cost a little more to split things up, but it'll allow us to avoid situations like this. Overall, it should provide many benefits, and the plan will be viable for use in future campaigns too.
Wow.
Dorothea?
This sort of thing really gets your brain going, huh? Still, I wish you'd just go to the meetings and share all of these opinions. People would be thrilled at your resourcefulness, you know.
Oh, I'm quite happy with things the way they are. Attending meetings would only add to my headaches.
You can only run from this for so long, Lynn. And sure, I'll propose what you asked me to, but I'm going to do so in your name.
Wait, are you serious?
Oh, very much so. I couldn't possibly take the credit for something you thought up, right?
I suppose that's fair. I can feel the headaches forming already.
I've been looking for you, Lynn. Here you go.
Ah, the notes from the War Council this morning. Thank you.
Say, why do you always ask me to do this now?
Well, you know the situation, so it just makes it easier. Especially now that I've had more projects dropped on my lap.
They're projects that you yourself proposed.
Besides, your handwriting is beautifully legible. Your way with words makes the material quite easy to digest. Really, it's delightful.
If you think I'm going to keep being your scribe just because you compliment me, think again.
Hello, Dorothea. How good to see you recovered.
Yes, I'm better now, thanks. The fever's all gone. Though, I'm way behind on everything because of it, so if you'll excuse me, I need to get caught up.
Here.
Are these notes? Wait, did you take notes for me the whole time I was recovering?
Yes, I summarized any essential information I thought you might need. War councils, scouting reports, that kind of thing.
So, this is your handwriting? Like, yours.
Why do you look so surprised? You do this exact same thing for me all the time. It's only natural that I'd step in for you during a time of illness.
Huh. You really are a strange guy. You know that? You never want to do anything that takes even the slightest effort, even when someone asks. And yet you went to all this trouble for me. So, like I said, you're strange. And a little infuriating.
If you say so. Personally, I think everything would be a lot easier if everyone behaved as I do. Actually, that would be great. Our war councils would take 5 minutes a day, tops.
And be pointless. Most days we'd probably just have an empty room because no one bothered to show up.
Oh no, it would absolutely be like that.
You know, I feel like I understand you a little better.
Being understood sounds like a bother in its own right. Oh well, I suppose we'll cross that particular bridge when we arrive at it. But for now, I'm afraid I'm quite tired.
Of course you are. Well, since I'm all better now, why don't you go ahead and sleep on my behalf? I'll take care of things while you do.
Better not. You're still recovering. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I found people to handle all your assigned work. So, take a day off and enjoy a long nap, all right?
I wish you were this nice on a regular basis. But despite that, you do have your charms.
I'm perfectly happy lacking charms, so don't bother looking for weird new ones in me.
Okay, seriously. Hey, Caspar. Oh, what's with the mountain of books? Wait, please don't tell me you're planning to use them in your training somehow.
What kind of guy do you think I am? They're books. I'm gonna read them.
Read? A book? You? Did you eat something weird?
Come on, you sound just like Linhart. I've torn through books before, sometimes even 2 or 3 whole chapters a day.
Please don't use the word torn when it comes to books. You're going to make my heart stop. And books are divided into chapters, not chappers. Oh, Caspar, promise me you won't hurt those books.
You don't have to worry, Dorothea. I realized something the other day. A person who's responsible for troops can't rely on physical strength alone. You probably wouldn't guess it from how my father looks, but he's pretty good about that stuff.
Can't say I'm shocked that the Empire's Minister of Military Affairs has read the occasional book. Speaking of, you may have heard this story before, but I'm going to tell it anyway. Back during the War of the Eagle and Lion, there was an Imperial general named Francis who was quite proud of his strength. But while he was indeed strong, he was unlearned, and so everyone looked down on him.
Why do I feel like this story is gonna make me feel like an idiot?
Just listen. The Emperor at the time gave Francis an order to study, and said that if he didn't, he wouldn't be allowed to lead anyone in battle. Francis did as his Emperor ordered, and studied as though his life depended on it, growing especially talented in the area of tactics and strategy. As a result, his deeds on the battlefield were great, and he eventually rose to the rank of Minister of Military Affairs.
So I should take a page out of Francis's book, right?
So long as you don't mean literally, yes. Incidentally, the words the Emperor used to praise Francis were memorable enough to have survived even to this day. With the passing of 5 sunrises and 5 sunsets, even the meanest soldier may burgeon into a peerless commander. It means if you study hard for 5 days, even a common soldier can become a great general who commands an entire army.
5 days? That's nowhere near enough time. It'd take me 5 days just to read 1 book. You gotta at least give me until the end of the war.
But by that point, won't your chances to distinguish yourself in battle have already passed?
Oh, you're right. What am I gonna do, Dorothea?
Well, I suppose I have no choice but to help you. Who knows? I might even learn something.
You're the best. Thank you.
So I think you might be a little off here, Caspar. The interpretation is more like this.
No kidding. Well, so then this part here would actually mean something like... Hey, are this and this the same? I think they connect to that one thing from before.
Nice one. So now you understand that part, right?
Whew, I really made some progress today.
Yes, you've been doing quite well. You used to only train your body, but lately you've been spending more time on your mind.
Kinda got a better opinion of me now, huh? I mean, no way did I become a genius in just 5 days, but this still isn't bad. You've been hitting the books a lot yourself lately. Wouldn't you rather be out on dates or something?
Not at all. I'm working very hard for the sake of our future. Also, studying together like this is sort of fun.
I get it. It's kinda like training. The more you do, the more you get out of it. But I also noticed that my training has gone better since I started this whole studying thing.
And perhaps having a partner is helping too? Still, it makes me kind of sad. We'd probably be studying together like this a lot more if the academy hadn't shut down.
I don't know about that. I mean, if we hadn't ended up in this war, would I have found a reason to study like this? Honestly, I kinda doubt it.
Caspar, whatever's bothering you, you're not going to solve it by muttering to yourself.
Yeah, you caught me. Up until Edelgard decided she was going to fight, I didn't know much of anything. Not about the evil guys who came into the Empire, and not about the problems in Fodlan. Not saying I fully understand that stuff now, either, but at least I want to try.
Seeing you now is like looking at an adorable baby brother. I just want to pinch your cheeks and cheer you on with everything I've got.
Okay. I mean, sure, I'm the second son and you're older than me, but...
Perfect. Then go ahead and start thinking of me as your big sister.
You know what? I actually don't mind that. Well then, just keep watching me grow, big sis.
I thought you'd just laugh that off. With the passing of 5 sunrises and 5 sunsets, even a boy can burgeon into an impressive man.
What? Is that another part of Francis's story?
Oh, that's my little secret. Still, whatever am I to do now? Let's just continue bringing the best out of each other, for the sake of our post-war future.
Our meaning... never mind. I'm with you. Let's keep giving it our all together, Dorothea.
Huh? Looks like Burns talking to someone. You seem to be in a good mood, Bern. Dorothea! You scared me! Sorry about that. It just looked like you were enjoying your conversation. That was a man you were talking to, right? He walked away before I could see who it was. Yeah, but it's not like that. Oh no? It sure looked like you were getting along well. Who was he, Is spring finally springing in the heart of my dear Bern? No, it's not like that! Do you remember the commoner friend I had once? You mean the one who vanished from your estate half dead? Yep. Well, it turns out he's actually alive, and in our army. That's great, Bern. A childhood friend, thought past, reunites with his treasured companion amidst the fires of war. A noble daughter and a common lad. A love that knows no social boundaries. This is the perfect plot for an opera.
Yeah, that sounds impressed.
Wait, no, it's not love!
Yes, but if they made it into an opera, that's how it would be portrayed.
For example, there's a series of operas known as the Empire of Love, and their latest could be the Bernadetta Saga. Absolutely not! If that happens, I'll lock myself in my room and melt down the key! Then I'll have to keep it secret. A shame, though. It's such a lovely story to waste. It's not a waste! I'm taking it to my grave! I'm sure you are. Still, I'm glad your friend is all right. Perhaps your father wasn't as cruel to him as wagging tongues would have us believe. Actually, he says my father was protecting me. I guess someone was trying to kill me, so he had no choice but to kick out my friend. But if that's the case, doesn't it mean you can patch things up with your father? No. My problems with him go way beyond this one incident. I mean, yeah, it seems like there was a bit of a misunderstanding around this one thing. But even if he was protecting me, it wasn't for love. It's more like how a smith protects a valuable tool. That sounds very much like my father. It does? Yes. He tossed my mother aside like some worn-out tool because their child, me, didn't have a crest. That's why your situation feels so personal. I really want you to overcome your struggles with everything that happened with your father and find a way to be happy. But I'm already happy. Really, I am. And it's all because I have friends like you, Dorothea. Then I can be happy too. Because I have friends like you, Bern. Oh, it feels wonderful to be out on the town again. Wouldn't you agree, Petra?
I would. It has been one battle after another battle. It is feeling good to rest.
I know, right? I'm glad we stopped here. Just look at the market. So many stalls, so much life.
This town must have been sending many soldiers to the war. I was thinking it would be filled with gloom. But the townsfolk are keeping high spirits. This is a good thing.
Commoners are a lot more resilient than you think. It doesn't matter if there are arrows whizzing by their shops or if there's a new lord to serve. They know how to adapt and carry on. Of course, it's different if they've lost family.
Ah, yes. In Brigid, everyone is family. We fight as sisters and brothers, and are mourning each loss.
One big family, huh? Can't say that for Fodlan. It's a beautiful idea, but it must be awful in wartime. I can't imagine feeling like I've lost a sibling every time a person dies.
Yes, times of war bring much sadness. But I am also thinking that war is less common. We are not squabbling over land or property, because it is already belonging to all.
That sounds wonderful, Petra.
We are only squabbling over who is sitting on the throne. Oh, and lovers.
Oh, so that's where things get messy. Juicy.
Oi, ladies. Ain't safe for a couple of prim skirts to be out here alone. Why don't you come with us?
Keep walking, boys. Not interested.
Shut up and move, girlie.
Whoa! What the?
Watch out, Dorothea! This one has skill! Well, that was incredibly uncivil of them. Are you alright? You aren't hurt, are you?
I am well. And you?
Not a scratch. I'm so relieved those brutes didn't mess up that silky face of yours.
But I am not wearing silk upon my face, Dorothea.
No, I'm talking about your skin. It's lustrous and smooth, you know?
This is a strange comparison. Silk is easily damaged. My skin has strength. Here, feel.
That's alright. I can tell just by looking.
Then you are knowing that my skin is like steel, not like silk. I am thinking we should be taking more care from now on. You are precious to me. I do not want to be losing you to thugs. One of them was a capable fighter. Please take my apologies for placing you in such danger. If anyone is trying such a thing again, I will be keeping you safe.
Hey, you're special to me too, you know. And no one's gonna lay a finger on your head while I'm around. La la, la 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 la. Is that Lady Dorothea? Oh, it is! Hello, Monica. Oh, is something wrong?
Well, I was wondering, are you the same Lady Dorothea who is known as the mystical songstress?
Well, yes, I suppose I am. Did you not know that?
Not at first, though it made perfect sense once I finally realized it. I find it difficult to believe it's really you.
Well, I'm certainly not doing a lot of songstressy things here in the army, so I'm not surprised it took you a bit to put two and two together.
But it should not have taken me this long. You have the same name, and you carry yourself in the same dignified manner as the Lady Dorothea I saw in the capital. I can't believe you're right in front of me. The excitement is so great I can barely stand.
Oh, please, that's all in the past. Now I'm just another one of your allies.
No, you're different. There wasn't a girl in the capital who didn't want to be you. I spent years trying to find a ticket to one of your performances. But when I finally found one, I ended up in a seat where I couldn't see the stage very well. It was so far back, I could barely even make out your face, or the rest of you for that matter. That's likely why I failed to recognize you at first.
Well, I'm certainly pleased you came to see me, and I'm sorry the seat was less than ideal.
Oh, but the costumes and stagecraft were more gorgeous and stirring than I ever could have imagined. Your songs captivated me. They reached out from the center of the stage, all the way back to me in my little corner of the opera house. Just thinking about it puts a smile on my face.
You were a more passionate listener than I would have imagined, Monica. Moni? Still with me?
Oh, my apologies, Lady Dorothea. I was sort of carried off by a wave of memories there.
It's fine, but, can we maybe stop with all of the lady stuff? I find it a little unsettling.
Well, all right, Dorothea. You know, I'm somewhat surprised you didn't return to the opera company once the war broke out.
You're not the only one. Adie and I being classmates was a big part of why I stayed, but suffice it to say that a lot happened, and now I'm here.
It's a great honor to fight alongside you, Lady Dorothea.
Maybe I should just return the favor and start calling you Lady Monica.
Dorothea, are you all right? I heard you were injured in our latest battle.
I'm fine. I can't say the same for my clothes, but at least my body will heal up quickly.
Oh, what a relief. It would be terrible if you were wounded, but even a single scar marring your perfect skin would be a tragedy.
No need to make such a fuss over it. I have plenty of scars already, Mommy.
I'm aware, but a large one would present a different type of problem altogether.
Wait, how do you know that I have scars? Actually, no, I'd rather not find out.
By the way, Dorothea, there's something I was hoping to ask you. I heard you were hurt because you hesitated to kill an opponent and left yourself open to an attack. Is that true?
It is. My enemy was a young child, and she was all skin and bones. I thought perhaps she was an orphan, and pity stayed my hand.
So it is true.
I'm sorry. I suppose my failure to act must have been something of a burden on everyone else.
I don't consider you a burden. But still, why do you keep fighting if you have such a kind heart? How can you even stand it? Don't you want to run away? Don't you want to leave the army and return to your opera company?
Oh, of course. The little voice inside my head is always telling me to pack up and go. But I have too much self-respect to do that. Or perhaps I'm simply too tied to my position. If I hadn't been given the opportunity to become a songstress, if I'd remained an orphan, I might well be in the same position as the child I face today. I might have been pressed into battle without being taught how to fight properly. I doubt I would have lasted long out on the battlefield. And when I think about that, I can't run away. I can't be the only one to flee to safety when everyone else is in danger.
I had no idea.
Plus, Adie matters a lot to me. I want to stay by her side and support her. You know all about what that's like, right? Even though you have the option of working in the capital, you've chosen to stay here and fight.
Well, you have me there. No matter what hardships might come, I can't imagine ever abandoning her.
That makes two of us.
Dorothea, my apologies. There's something I need to confess. I went to Her Majesty and asked her to reassign you to the rear guard. But after speaking to you, I now realize that was a great mistake. Even if it's difficult, and even if you get hurt, you still have a desire and a right to be on the front with Lady Edelgard.
You don't have to apologize, Mani. I understand. So, let's keep giving everything we've got to this fight.
Yes! With the two of us at her side, Her Majesty will be flanked by beautiful flowers. Wait, Her Majesty is also a beautiful flower, so,
Upon the stage of battle we shall bloom, an army of countless flowers bursting into full glory.
It's nice to feel the breeze on your skin every once in a while.
Hey there, Hildy. How nice to run into you.
Same. So, what brings you here?
I had a craving for tea, so I came out here to pick some herbs.
Tea, huh? I might have to get in on that. Hey, is that a new bracelet? It's different from the one you wore yesterday, right?
Oh, this? Yes, a fan of mine gave it to me.
She looked up to me as a songstress before she became a soldier, and by sheer coincidence, we ended up assigned to the same army. The fact that she still supports me even now makes me happier than I can say.
Yeah, getting a gift from a supportive fan must be a pretty great feeling. Looks valuable, too. She must really like you.
Yes, it is rather nice, isn't it?
Wish I had a big fancy bracelet I could swing around.
You wear all sorts of accessories, don't you, Hildy? Also makeup and the like. Why, there's no one better in the whole army when it comes to such things.
If that bar was any lower, it'd be rolling on the floor. Most folks here don't give fashion a second thought. Still, I like to make my own accessories based on current trends.
You make them yourself? Oh, that's amazing! Oh, and speaking of recent trends, I hear plants are the latest and greatest thing. Not flowers, mind, but complicated patterns such as ivy and vines.
That's right. I've been sort of obsessed with them lately. But the more elaborate I make them, the more delicate they are. I think a bracelet made like that would break too easily.
Ah, you have such dexterous fingers, Hildy.
That's sweet, but seriously, I'm not much of a craftswoman. Anyway, not to super abruptly change the subject, but what kind of makeup do you use? Are you all about the latest fashions, or do you tend to go more traditional?
Generally, I try to use those that are reputed to be good for the body. They say some cosmetics are actually quite unhealthy, which worries me.
I know what you mean, and you tend to not find out until it's way too late. I want to stay cute forever, so I've got to watch out for stuff like that and protect my skin.
Ugh, so true. But say, how about we continue this chat over some tea?
Are you kidding? I'd sit here and talk to you until the cows come home. Yeah, something's still not quite right here. Maybe the chest decoration is a little lonely? There's no way this accessory is good enough to sell in its current state.
Something wrong, Hildy?
Hey, Dorothea. Yeah, I'm actually trying to make a necklace, but it's not going well. Can't shake the feeling it's, I don't know, missing a little something, I guess. Anyway, I was just mulling over what I should do about it.
Oh, so this is one of your handmade accessories. I've wanted to see one for so long. Might I offer an opinion?
Oh, absolutely! Give me the brutal truth. I can handle it.
This is fine workmanship. Much more elaborate than the goods you can buy off a common tinker. Ah, the chain is patterned after a vine. Yes, I see. Forgive an amateurish opinion, but what if you were to add some leaves under this floral decoration? If there were a pattern that bridged the flower and the vines, that might lend it the special something you feel like you're missing.
You know what? That just might do it. Yeah, I think you're really onto something there, Dorothea. Thanks a million. I'll give it a shot.
I'm glad I could help.
Oh, but now I'm going to come to you whenever I'm in a pickle about how to fix an accessory, you know.
I would be delighted. Say, do you have any interest in actually selling the items you make?
Huh? Wait, you think I could sell them?
As I said earlier, you rarely see goods of this quality. They could, for example, be used by an opera troupe.
Like the Middle Franc Opera Company?
Exactly. Stage costumes use all manner of accessories and ornamentations, you know. And once they're seen in such a setting, nobles from near and far will be clamoring to buy them.
Dorothea, I love you. I'm so happy I could scream. Actually, maybe we could keep the spirit of our newfound cooperation going. See, someday I actually want to open a school for craftspeople who make accessories like mine. And since you used to work at the opera company, maybe you could help me with the whole businessy side of things. I mean, opera people are pretty good with accessories and stuff, right? So, what do you think?
That's wonderful, Hildy. Oh, what ideas you think of. There are few jobs retired opera members can get, which was always a source of worry for the company. So let's definitely return to this conversation in the near future, all right?
Oh, I am so glad I met you, Dorothea. Dorothea! Dorothea!
Hello, Flane. What's got you in such a frenzy?
Is it true that you were a diva in Enbar? And that you were praised as having a mystical voice?
I hope I'm more than just my voice, but that's all essentially true, yes.
Then I would beg a boon of you. Would you give me a singing lesson?
Of course. But where is this coming from?
Well, you see, sometimes the soldiers all break out into song. And when they do, I always find myself wanting to join in. Their voices hold such grand aplomb. But the only songs I know are dreadfully old. So, I had hoped that you might instruct me as to the popular songs of modern soldiers.
Is that so? Well, I'd be more than happy to help. In recent years, a new musical style has come into fashion, one involving challenging songs with many overlapping parts. Why don't we start with a little vocal warm-up? Repeat after me.
Certainly, Professor Dorothea.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. My, I feel as if I have become quite good at singing. The power of song is certainly remarkable. It is as if I have been revitalized from the very core of my being.
I agree. Songs can be very empowering indeed. In fact, I recently heard an old tale about how a song once ended a war.
Truly? I have never heard this tale. Would you mind regaling me with it?
Sadly, I don't know much more beyond that. some digging, but the person I heard it from wasn't too familiar with the story. Try not to get your hopes up, okay?
Oh, I see. Perhaps my brother might. Oh, it is nothing. Since you will be looking into it, I shall do a bit of digging as well. If I learn anything, I will be certain to tell you. Dorothea, I have it!
You have what?
I have learned more about the story you mentioned the other day. The one regarding the song that ended a war.
That's incredible. How did you manage it? I've been asking around myself, but I haven't learned a thing.
I actually asked my brother. Or to be more specific, I just so happened to stumble across it in one of his books.
I see. And what did it say?
It is the story of a woman who ended a war with a song. This took place a short while after the Empire emerged victorious from the War of Heroes. The brother of an imperial noble started a conflict regarding the succession of their territory. It was a minor struggle at first, but gradually the other neighboring lords became caught up as well. It became quite the event. One thing spiraled into another, and soon they were on the cusp of a war that threatened to splinter the very empire itself.
Nobles are always like that, no matter the era.
At the time, one woman was very worried about the state of affairs. A childhood friend of the two brothers on opposite sides of the struggle.
Oh, now that's a development right out of the storybooks.
She made her way to the battlefield, which was on the brink of exploding into violence, stood between the two armies, and began to sing. She filled her every word with the hope that the brothers would not be driven to fight. And it went like this. I remember with fondness days long past with those I love. With warmth in my heart I think of them and sing to the stars up above. Hands once linked now carry swords filled with rage and bloody, and with their smiles forgotten they seek the sweet release of death. The sound of her voice in song moved not only the hearts of the two brothers, but of their armies as well. Soon, they all dispersed and returned to their homes. Having settled their differences, the brothers petitioned the Emperor to change their territories. So that there would be no lingering grudge, they asked to be given lands at the east and west ends of the Empire, with the capital betwixt. And that is the tale of how House Benya and House Menya came to be.
You know, I just realized something. The name of the Middle Franc Opera Company means Friendship at the Center. It's taken from a festival of singing and dancing that was held in the capital long ago in the hopes of fostering peace. Maybe the origins of this festival are found in the story you just told me.
Do you truly think so?
Noble houses divided with the capital between them? Singing and dancing in the center for peace? I don't think it's a coincidence.
Now that you say it, I find I must agree. Which would mean that you, Dorothea, diva of the Middle Franc Opera Company, might use your talent to bring about the end of war. That would be quite something were it to come to pass.
I wonder. But let's put old tales aside for now and continue our lessons, shall we? Perhaps if we pray and sing for peace, happiness really will find us all.